BookTube, it's Missy, and today I'm here to share with you guys the new picks for my Stephen King read-along. Now, I will leave the channel link down below, not the channel link, the Goodreads group down below if you want to join in 2021 in the Stephen King read-along. Now, I've been doing this for a few years now, and when I started, I was just randomly selecting books that I was interested in reading from Stephen King. And then after that, the following years after that, I decided, oh, well, maybe I will sprinkle in like older and newer books, so that way there's a large variety, plus, you know, longer novels and then short story collections and stuff like that. So this time around, I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I had to go back through the books that King has written and the books that I have read and put together a list. Now, some of these books I have read before in the past, and that's because I've read a giant chunk of King's collection. Now, I know he brings out one book a year or something like that, and so I feel like I have enough books to continue this Goodreads group for a while, and then, you know, eventually we'll probably have to like go back and like just reread all of his books again. But as long as I am able, I will continue this read along. I am hosting this with Ashley. I brought her on at the beginning of 2020, and thank goodness for that, because Ashley is so helpful. I mean, I barely talk to the people that are in the group. I do post a discussion video, or I don't know why I said video, a discussion message that talks about the book and kind of like summarizes what it's supposed to be about, or like vaguely the theme of the book, and whether or not the book has a mini-series, TV show, movie that can go along with the book, and a little bit of more information. So we do that every single month. And then people talk about the book down in the discussions. And I try to go on there periodically and answer questions, or, you know, just comment back to the people who have done it. And there's a good 5 people that really participate in those discussions every month. But Ashley's so good about responding. So thank you again, Ashley, for helping me out, and also for being a part of the Stephen King read-along in 2021. Thank you. You are my lifesaver. Okay, so this year, or this coming year, I decided to switch it up again. And if you don't know who Lala is, or Kayla from Books and Lala, I will leave her channel link down below. I can't remember when she started. I think it was around the same time as me, but whereas I barely moved since the beginning of my career here on YouTube, she exploded. And Kayla is so she's so talented. She's so talented. She comes up with these amazing concepts for videos. She does these really good vlogs. She's got good music. She's artistic and creative, and you know, she does these graphs that I always find amazing. And like I said, her video concepts are always the best. And so when she created the Buzzwordathon, which is a readathon that I think she created it in 2020, maybe in 2019. I can't remember how long it's been going on, but she has also decided to switch it up a little bit, and instead of having it just sporadically throughout the year, the Buzzwordathon will be every single month. And I will leave that actual announcement video down below so you can check it out, because I decided to make the Stephen King read-along books for the entire year to coincide with all of her buzzwords, so that way if you like Kayla's channel, you can also participate in my group, so you guys have the same books. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So every month in her Buzzwordathon, every month there's a theme. And for example, if one of them is dream, January is dream. That is her theme. Now you can pick to read one book that has dream on the cover. I think it's on the cover, like that's part of the word, like the title. But she said that she's not going to like check up on you, and that this is a very loose based readathon / challenge for the whole year. So if it's about dreams, I think that's the same thing. Also, you can read all of the books for that entire month just on that theme for dreams, or you can just pick one and then just read one book a month that goes along with each theme per month. Or, you know, like I said, you can do all of the books for that theme. And I thought that was such a good idea. I really, really liked it. And so for January, for her theme, which was dreams, I chose Dreamcatcher. Now, I have read that book many, many, many years ago. I did watch the movie when it came out in theater and hated it. That ending was so stupid. But that's typical fashion for Stephen King movies. Most Stephen King movies are stupid, and most of the endings are stupid. But yeah, I wanted to, you know, keep going. Where did I write them down? Oh my gosh. One moment. So I just left to go look up all of the themes really quick because I forgot after January. So I already talked about January. It's Dream, and I chose Dreamcatcher as the book that we were going to read. And all of this will be up on January 1st. I know Ashley already posted that we're going to be reading Dreamcatcher in January. But if you've already read Dreamcatcher and you're looking for another book that you can put in place of Dreamcatcher, and say you didn't finish Bazaar of Bad Dreams, which is the December pick, which is a collection of short stories, then you could easily do that instead, and that also fits the Buzzwordathon. Okay, so for February, her theme is a color. I like that in her title. For the theme on her video, it has a U in it because that's so like British, you know, English. in the United States, we don't have a U for color or favorite. It's just, there's no U there. And so I chose Green Mile. I have never read Green Mile before, and my collection of Green Mile is tiny. It's got like 6 mini books that go along with the whole thing. So that's going to be interesting to read it that way. So yeah, Green Mile is the pick for February. March, her theme is time. And so it can be in the title or about time. And so I chose The Long Walk for our March pick. Now, long is a measure of time, right? This is taking too long. And so I figured a long walk is a little bit of a stretch, but it works. And so that's the pick for March. And again, all of this will be linked down below, along with the themes for Lala's Buzzwordathon, because when you go to her video, she doesn't have it in the description box. So this is just a quick way to like double check to see if you know all the themes. But definitely check out that video because I want to watch it again, because I just love watching Lala's channel. I love watching all of her videos. I like binge old videos because I like her so much. Okay, so April is galaxy terms. And so for April, I chose the book Elevation. And hear me out, that has nothing to do with galaxy. It doesn't have anything to do with moon, stars, sun, celestial, a planet, a star. None of that is in there, but elevation, it means high up, right? And so you can't get to the galaxy unless you elevate yourself. Really stretched it for that one, but that's our pick for April. All right, for May's theme for the Buzzwordathon, it's either house or home. That needs to be in the title, but I think it'll be fine if you do a book that is surrounded, or the core of the book is about a home or a house. And again, another stretch for our April pick, or excuse me, for our May pick, I chose the book Institute, because Institute could be a place to live, right? You can, like in Cassandra Clare's books, I can't think of what they're called right now. What are they called? The people, the main characters of the book, they live at the Institute. So that's a place where they live and work. So Institute is going to be our pick for the Stephen King read along for May. Now, June is a name in the title kind of book. So I chose the Tommy Knockers for June because Tommy is a name. But you could do Lisey, L-I-S-E-Y, if you haven't read that book, because that's also a name. And you could also do Misery, because Misery is also a name. In the book, that's the character's name, Misery. You could do Dolores Claiborne. That's also a named book. Gerald's Game is a named book. What else? What else? The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. That has a name in it. But we've read all those books in the read-along, so we did read Tommy Knockers years ago, but I never read it. I kind of it was such a long book and I didn't get a chance to read it. So I'm going to read it this time around. So that's our June pick. And it's really fat. So hopefully that's a nice amount of time, like a summertime read. Okay, for the July pick for the Buzzwordathon, the theme is last. And so for our pick, I put End of Watch. It's the last book in the... what's the guy's name? Tom? I can't think of the you know how there's a title and then there's like a series title? I can't remember what the series title is called, but the first book is Mr. Mercedes, and then the second book is Finders Keepers, and then the third book is called The End of Watch. And so I thought that's fitting because it's the last book in the series. And so I haven't read that one. And so if you guys, you have 7 months to catch up if you want to read that book, End of Watch. And because it is a more easier read, it's not as weird and it's not scary. Like some people really can't read Stephen King because they think it's scary. Hardly any of his books are scary. Like maybe 5 out of the 50, 60 books that he's written, only like 5 are actually scary. So The End of Watch is the third book in the Mr. Mercedes series, where it starts off with a mass murderer who gets away and isn't caught. And the detective that worked the case, who's no longer a detective because he has retired, but now the mass murderer is contacting him, and they're playing like a cat and mouse kind of chase thing. And it goes until book 2. So I'm assuming that we get the finale with The End of Watch, which is going to be fun. For the August theme for the Buzzwordathon, it's time of day. So for our Stephen King pick, I chose Later. Later is a book that comes out in March of 2021, and I chose Later because that is a time of day instead of just time in general. If you say, when's lunch, I say later, right? That's a time of day. Stretch. It works. It works. So that's his new release for next year. So you have lots of time. You have 8 months to pick that book up. Or not 8 months, 5 months, because it comes out in March. You have 5 months to pick the book up. Okay, September's theme for the Buzzwordathon is dark, and so I chose for the Stephen King pick, it's going to be Dark Tower. So dark is in the word. You can choose whatever Dark Tower book you want to read. Now, the Dark Tower series is 7 books, starting with The Gunslinger. And then the very last book is called The Dark Tower. I'm currently about 200 pages from with that book, and it's been sitting on my graveyard shelf for 2, maybe 3 years now, because I just don't want the book to end. And so this is a perfect opportunity to either start the Dark Tower series with Gunslinger, or finish or continue in whatever part of the series that you're in. I'm going to really emphasize the fact that the Gunslinger is, you start off in the middle of a story, and so it's kind of like a short story from a short story collection. It doesn't make any sense. A lot of people get discouraged when they pick it up because they're getting these characters in the middle of a world that's already been built, and they're confused about what the characters are supposed to be doing. I think, and Stephen King has talked about this many, many times, but I think he did it like that because he wasn't expecting to continue and make this, you know, magnum opus. He wasn't going to create this outstanding series. The constant readers, his fans, kept nagging him to continue this series, so he didn't even want to write it. He didn't want to write anything of the Dark Tower. He was just writing the Gunslinger. It was just supposed to be like this, you know, shorter-ish story, and that was it. But us fans really pecked him until he continued writing it. So yeah, get through Gunslinger if you haven't picked it up yet, and move on, because The Drawing of the Three, which is the second book, is so good. It's so good. And there's killer lobsters. That's all you have to know. Killer lobsters. It's so good. That is like, I want to say The Gunslinger is kind of like a prologue to the entire series, although it's not. But I feel like if you can just quickly get through Gunslinger and then, you know, really read the second book, you're going to fall in love with the entire series, and you won't want to put it down after that. The Gunslinger is just difficult because even though it's very short, it doesn't make any sense because you don't have the grand picture. You know what I mean? You only have snippets of what's going on. That's my opinion anyway. All right. The next theme, which is September. Oh, we already did that. Dark was September. The next one is October, and that is Elements. That's for the Buzzwordathon, Elements. So for our pick, I chose Hearts in Atlantis. The reason why that is because when she said elements, she said it could be fire, water, it could be anything. It could be the earth, it could be dirt, it could be the rain, anything. And so Hearts of Atlantis. Atlantis is a city underwater. And yeah, so I'm considering that an element. Again, I'm stretching out these things because you're not going to get exact stuff when it comes to Stephen King. So yeah, Hearts in Atlantis. I haven't read that before, and so that is the pick. And I think that's a short story collection. I think it's a short story collection. Okay, November. The theme for the Buzzwordathon is Lost. So for our November pick, I decided to do Nightmares and Dreamscapes. Because you can get lost in your nightmare. Stretching it. You could also read this for the January pick, but please don't, unless you've already read The Dreamcatcher and you've already, well, no, because if you've already read Nightmares and Dreamscapes, then you wouldn't reread it. Anyways, don't read that book in January. Read it in November, so that way we can read it together. All right, and then the last theme for December is day, month, or season. So it's an all-encompassing kind of thing. So regardless, I think a book can satisfy that theme. And so for our pick for that that particular month, for the Stephen King read-along, I chose different seasons. because seasons in the title. Also, it's a short story collection, and that's really good when it comes to a busy schedule because you can read the story in chunks. But we did read different seasons in a previous year. So if you have not, or if you have read that book, I do have an alternate book on my list, and that is The Regulators. And because I chose, again, I'm stretching it. Regulators is the book that you read coinciding with desperation. At least if you put both of the spines together, they create one whole picture. The Regulators is written by Richard Bachman, which is the alias for Stephen King. But Regulators, I was seeing regulating. Time regulates everybody. Months and seasons regulate, you know, the passing of time. I know, a stretch, but it works. It works. Okay, this video is long enough. So please, please, please join my group, the Stephen King Read Along. I will leave the link down below. All of the books will be up on the page, the Goodreads group page, January 1st. But again, we are going to be reading Dreamcatcher in January. So if you would like to participate with us, pick up the book Dreamcatcher. And yeah, that is it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. And that is it. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.